Have you ever felt like you're wandering through life without direction, like your soul is weighed down by a deep emptiness? Maybe you've tried to fill that void with distractions, relationships, or achievements, only to find that nothing truly satisfies. If that resonates with you, know this: you are not alone, and there's a way back to peace, purpose, and a renewed connection with God. This video is not just another passing message. It's an invitation to rediscover the deepest part of who you are, where God's presence can restore what's been lost and heal what feels broken. We'll uncover timeless truths from Scripture and practical steps to help you reconnect with God's love, even if you've felt distant for years. Whether you're in the depths of despair or simply longing for more, this is your moment to realign your heart with the one who created it. Now imagine for a moment a life where you feel anchored, where storms don't shake your faith, and where God's voice becomes the guiding light you've been searching for. That life is within reach, and it starts here today. Before we dive in, I want to invite you to take a step of faith with me. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, because together we can spread the message of Jesus to hearts around the world. By subscribing, you're helping this mission grow and reach someone else who desperately needs God's touch. And here's a challenge for you. Leave a comment below with the phrase, "I choose to restore my soul with God." Let it be a declaration of your faith and a reminder of the hope we're about to explore together. This isn't just another video, it's a journey back to the arms of a loving God who's been waiting for you all along. As you think about this, let this phrase linger in your heart. In Jesus, I find rest. It's not just a statement, it's a truth that can reshape the way you live, work, and love. There is so much more to explore about what it means to walk in this rest daily, to let it permeate your decisions, relationships, and even your dreams. Each step deeper into this journey reveals another. Imagine being part of a space where your questions are met with understanding, your faith is nurtured, and your heart is continually inspired. Take that step today and become a part of something truly transformational. Returning to the heart of Proverbs 3:5-6, there's something profoundly freeing about surrendering to God's wisdom. When we let go of the need to control every outcome, we create space for Him to work in ways that exceed our greatest expectations. Peace reminds us that He is greater than anything we face, and that we are never alone in the struggle. Practically speaking, living in Jesus' peace involves a few key steps. First, it requires surrender. We must release our grip on the things that trouble us, bringing them to Him in prayer and trusting Him to handle them. This act of surrender is not weakness. It's an acknowledgement of His strength and our need for His guidance, but about enduring everything we encounter through the strength Christ provides. It's a promise that we are never without the power we need to face life's battles, whether they are physical, emotional, or spiritual. So how can we embrace this truth in our daily lives? First, it begins with humility, acknowledging that we can't do it all on our own. In a world that glorifies self-sufficiency, admitting our need for Christ's strength is countercultural, but it's also liberating. When we stop striving in our own power and start depending on Him, we find a wellspring of strength that never runs dry. Second, circumstances. Even when we can't see how, we can trust that He is weaving every moment, both joyful and painful, into a story that reflects His glory and brings about His purposes in our lives. How do we live in light of this promise? First, it requires surrender. We need to release our need to control or understand everything and instead place our trust in God's sovereign hands. Surrender doesn't mean passivity. It means choosing to believe that God is faithful, even when the outcome isn't clear. Second, we need to cultivate patience. God's timing is often different from ours, and His plans may unfold in ways we don't expect. Patience allows us to rest in the knowledge that He is at work, even when we don't see immediate results. Finally, it calls us to remain and a heart more open to God's leading. Today, Noah looks back on that difficult season with gratitude, not for the pain itself, but for the transformation it brought. James's words challenge us to shift our focus from the making God's kingdom first. It doesn't mean neglecting your responsibilities or desires. Instead, it means entrusting them to God, knowing that He cares for every detail of your life. Jesus' promise is clear. When we prioritize Him, the unknown. After the death of Moses, the responsibility of leading an entire nation fell to him. The task before him was daunting, crossing the Jordan River, confronting formidable enemies, and claiming a land that had been promised for generations. It's no wonder that God's first instruction to Joshua was not about strategy, but about courage. This verse is more than a pep talk. It's a command paired with a promise. God calls Joshua to strength and courage, not because of his own abilities, but because of God's unchanging presence. It's a call that echoes through time, reminding us that we too are never alone in our battles. Imagine a soldier standing at the edge of a battlefield, uncertain of what lies ahead. The fear is real, but so is the assurance of their commander's voice, steady and unwavering. This is the kind of reassurance God offers us. He doesn't dismiss our fears. He equips us to face them with the knowledge that He is by our side. Consider the story of Malik, a father who faced an overwhelming season of life, with his wife battling illness and the weight of supporting his family falling on his shoulders. Malik felt crushed by the enormity of his responsibilities. Every day felt like a new challenge, and he often doubted whether he had the strength to keep going. One Sunday, during a sermon, Malik heard Joshua 1:9. The words resonated deeply. Be strong and courageous. The Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Malik realized he didn't have to muster strength on his own. God was with him, providing the courage and resilience he needed for each day. Armed with this truth, Malik began to face his struggles with renewed faith. He prayed for strength daily, leaned on his community for support, and found peace in knowing that he was never alone. Joshua 1:9 is a reminder that courage isn't the absence of fear. The story of Rachel, a woman who had always prided herself on being capable and independent. She excelled in her career, managed her family with precision, and rarely asked for help. But when a sudden health crisis left her unable to work and struggling to keep up with her responsibilities, Rachel found herself feeling helpless and defeated. During this time, a friend shared 2 Corinthians 12:9 with her. At first, Rachel struggled to accept the idea that her weakness could be a place where God's strength was revealed. But as she leaned into prayer and scripture, she began to see how God's grace sustained her in ways she couldn't explain. Friends and family stepped in to support her. Her church community prayed for her, and doors opened that she never would have pursued on her own. Rachel's vulnerability allowed her to experience God's power in a way she never had before. This verse teaches us an invaluable lesson. We don't have to be strong all the time. In fact, it's often in our weakest moments that we encounter God's strength most profoundly. His grace doesn't just fill in the gaps, it becomes the foundation that carries us through. How can we embrace this truth in our daily lives? First, it requires honesty. Acknowledge your weaknesses, both to yourself and to God. Pretending to have it all together only isolates us from His power. Instead, bring your struggles to Him in prayer, trusting that His grace is sufficient to meet your needs. Second, practice dependence.